Well, we've got the growth showcase, and it's Tom Ruwitch. He is the CEO of Story Power Marketing. Coaches, authors, and experts who serve clients hire Tom to power up their creative content and storytelling. Because most deliver the same old boring content that leads prospects to tune out and move on. And then the experts feel frustrated and stuck. So Tom teaches them to transform their content from boring to brilliant, turn marketing from frustrating to fruitful, and convert the bottom line from pitiful to profitable. Prior to founding Story Power in 2020, Tom ran MarketVolt, an email service provider and marketing agency, which he founded in 2001. As the lead consultant at MarketVolt and now at Story Power Marketing, Tom has spent a quarter century helping business leaders successfully navigate the marketing maze and land clients. I give you the best storyteller ever.
Perfect. Copy is not written. Copy is assembled. I'm going to repeat that because it is one of the most important marketing concepts that I know and that you can use to grow your business. Copy is not written. Copy is assembled. So said a guy named Gene Schwartz, who was one of the most prolific copywriters of his day, an ad man, a madman, who wrote countless advertisements that made millions and millions and millions of dollars for his clients, made millions and millions of dollars for himself. And Gene Schwartz never suffered from writer's block, never suffered from writer's block. And when people asked him, how did you do it? He would say, copy is not written, copy is assembled. So what the heck does that mean? I'm going to share with you in a moment the Schwartz method and the Story Power method that I've adopted in great part from that inspirational idea. And we're going to talk about how to assemble content so that you don't suffer writer's block, so that you can captivate prospects, inspire them to buy, inspire them to hire you. I'm Tom Ruwitch. Thank you for the bio. Wow. So in 2001, which seems like the last millennium, seems like a millennium ago, in 2001, I started a company called MarketVolt, an email marketing company that provided software technology to create, deliver, and track email campaigns. And very shortly after I created MarketVolt, I began to have clients who would come to me and say, great, we have the software to create, deliver, and track emails. Now sell us a list. And I'd say, no, we're not going to sell you a list. You're going to build a list. And our clients said, build a list, what does that mean? And so MarketVolt evolved into a marketing agency that began to help people with lead generation and landing pages and websites and list building and campaign management. And so I was deep in the weeds with business people for 20 years. And here's what I witnessed. When things didn't go well in their marketing, they would say, give me a better tool. I need a better email marketing system or a better marketing automation platform or a better social media management system. Or they would say, give me a better trick. I need the latest tricky tactic, a better funnel. Or they'd say, give me a better tactician. I'm going to go hire a new agency, a new guy, or assign somebody else to this account. And what they almost never said was, maybe the content that I'm putting into this content management system or into the social platform, maybe the stories that I'm sharing are the same old blah, 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 boring stuff that doesn't stand out in my competition. And so nobody cares and they tune out and they move on. 99% of the time, if wheels are spinning in the marketing, content has something to do with it, the quality of the content. And so at Marketable, I began to focus on helping clients power up their stories, create content, assemble more captivating content. And in so doing, lo and behold, all of a sudden, the software began to work better. The tricks seemed to be more tricky. The tacticians seemed to be more genius. And the results, of course, were converting from pitiful to profitable. And I want to share an example of a client that we worked with who transformed her content from boring to brilliant. I was talking at the table earlier about the change that's coming for me in 2023. I'm going to spend a lot more time delegating, a lot more time focusing on moving things off my plate. And the client in question is an executive coach who works with business owners, business leaders to get off the hamster wheel. Among other things, delegation is one of the things that she teaches and works with them on. And before she hired us, she had written a blog post about delegation. What I'm going to do is share with you the first few words, first couple of paragraphs of 3 different blog posts. I have to go get some candy, forgot to, because they're prizes. So, first few paragraphs of blog post, and I'm going to ask a quiz, so take careful note. Number 1, blog post number 1, delegation is a critical skill for business leaders for a number of reasons. First and foremost, it allows leaders to free up their own time and focus on the tasks that are most important and strategic to the organization. By delegating tasks to others, leaders can focus on the big picture and make sure that the organization is on track to meet its goals. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, delegating properly is one of the most important leadership skills. Delegation is typically not a natural skill that we learn growing up. However, it is critical to company growth, and it's a game changer on many levels. When delegation is done poorly, it's better known as dumping, and it's not ultimately beneficial to the giver or receiver. When done well, delegation allows individuals and teams to focus on more important priorities that will impact the top and bottom lines, as well as everything in between. Number 3, I know a business owner who rarely enjoyed time away from his office. If he got away, he was constantly stressed and anxious about how it would turn out. It often didn't turn out well. Employees would call and email with questions. The owner would think they didn't need to bother me with this. They could have figured out that one. A huge pile of undone stuff awaited him when he returned. The business seemed to stall without him. Sound familiar? So, first quiz. Which of the 3, so 2 of those 3 were published on this business person's website and were sent out as emails. Which of the 3, number 1, 2, or 3, generated dramatically more phone calls? So I'm just gonna ask you to raise your hand. Was it number 1? Was it number 2? Oh, you're all gonna win some candy. Was it number 3? Candy. Okay. Pass around the candy. You all won. You kind of get the point. Now, here's a trickier question. Which of these 2, number 1 or 2, was written by an AI robot based on the prompt, write a blog post that explains why delegation is a critical skill for business leaders, explain the difference between delegation done poorly versus well, and give tips on how to delegate well? Which one is the AI piece, number 1 or number 2? Number 2, number 2, number 2, number 1. Mark gets a bag of candy. Oh, sorry. Right on the mic. Sorry. That's pretty amazing. It was number one. Okay. So here's the issue. Here is the issue. You understood that number three was a piece that was more brilliant, more attractive, more captivating, more inspiring, more read to the bottom than numbers 1 or 2. Now more than ever, hate that cliche, but boy, is it true right now. Now more than ever, if you're not focusing on how to create content that sets you apart, that makes you stand above the mushy middle, you're going to lose. Hate to be so blunt, but you are going to get stuck because right now, today, every single day, computers are generating floods of content that are indistinguishable. You flunked the quiz, people. Indistinguishable from the ordinary, boring, blah, blah, blah content that most people are putting out. So if you're putting out boring, blah, blah, blah content, and you think people are going to notice, they haven't been noticing up till now. And now computers are, you know, a 12-year-old can write a blog post better than the stuff that's getting generated by 95, 99% of the people out there. So let's talk for a moment about this post and understand what's going on in this post. Number one, it keeps the focus on the prospect's emotional journey. A business owner, stressed, frustrated, feeling the weight of the world on his shoulders, can't get away, can't enjoy a vacation. It's a true story, by the way. This business owner had not taken a vacation in 20 years until she went to work with him. The journey from overwhelm to freedom, from stress to relief, from fear to confidence. That's the journey that she was enabling. And in just 2 paragraphs, you got that. Sound familiar? Yep, it sounds familiar. I'm going to read on because I want to take the same journey. That's story power principle number 1. Keep the focus on prospects' emotional journeys. And if you can understand your prospects' emotional journeys, you have building blocks to help you assemble content. It's not some magic art. Number 2, keep it personal and human. Which piece had characters? A business owner. It's a first-person piece. I know a business owner who, and if you read further in the piece, here's how I helped the business owner, not a AI-generated lecture of here are the 5 tips to delegate more effectively. Personal, human, connectable. That's story power principle number 2. Keep it personal and human. Story power principle number 3, keep it simple. So many of the so-called storytelling experts out there will tell you that you need to master the hero's journey and the 10 steps of this and Aristotle's dramatic pyramid and Freytag's method for blah, 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 blah. And here's the 10-step method for doing a story. You're just writing a friggin' blog post or an email or a social post, and you do not need to model how to write a screenplay. The 10-step method to write a story-powered email, call me simple, but that's about 10 steps too many. Pardon me, that was bad math. That was about 7 steps too many. 3 steps. 3 things that you need to do to gather the building blocks to assemble content. Number 1, empathize. Put yourself in your prospect's shoes and know how they feel. And don't be afraid of their pain. Too many people say, oh, I don't want to talk about my prospect's pain. That's fear-based marketing, and that's manipulative. Now, the difference between manipulation and ethical persuasion is intent. One of my marketing mentors, Dave D, said that. The difference between ethical persuasion and unethical manipulation is intent. And if you intend to serve and you provide a real solution, then talking to people about their pain, meeting them where they are, and providing service is a gift, not an act of manipulation. And the second E is envision. Sorry. Didn't know that was going to do that. Envision. What is the other side of the journey? What's the top of the mountain look like? Those two things. Empathize, envision. That's the journey. And the third E, this is the Story Power 3E framework, simple, is enable. How do your products and services enable the journey? Now, I could go deep into how to discover, how to empathize, how to really understand what your prospects and clients are feeling, and how to really understand where they want to go. Most people don't dig nearly deep enough. That's something we teach called story discovery, how to dig deeper to do that. But that framework, that's where we'll stop today. 3 principles. Keep the focus on your prospect's emotional journey. Emotional is important. How do they feel? Second, keep it personal and human. Human beings, characters with character. Your copy, your content has to have character. Third, keep it simple. And then how you do it through the 3E framework: empathize, envision, describe how your products enable the journey. And if you do that, if you go through those processes, you'll have building blocks. So content is no longer an act of sitting in front of a blank screen and thinking, now what? You're going to be creating copy the way Eugene Schwartz did. All the building blocks are at your disposal. And now it's just an act of assembly. You will captivate prospects. You'll inspire them to hire you because you'll be the one standing out above that mushy AI-powered middle. That's what I got. Questions? Oh, I'm a mess. Yes.
So just talk about the first line of that blog and what needs to be in that first line.
Wow. So if you've not, so there's no easy answer for that. But it's a great question, because the purpose of a good subject line is to get somebody to read the first line. And the purpose of the first line is to get somebody to read the second line and the next paragraph and so forth. And so there are a lot of ways to do it, And people, human beings, are naturally drawn into stories. And so again, I don't mean to pick on the other storytelling experts, but I read some guy recently who said, well, you never want to start a story by telling somebody, here comes a story. 100% absolutely wrong. So the first line of the story often can be, here's a cautionary tale about blah, blah, blah. Or here's something funny that happened to me. Or, oh, I want to share this story that I heard about blah, blah, blah. Or something really crazy happened to me. And in this case, I know a business owner who rarely enjoyed time away from his business if he got away. That implies, hey, there's a story coming. I'm going to tell you a story. human beings, characters, events, and so forth. And so the short answer is let them know something is coming, a story is coming. You're going to share a tale. Once upon a time, or some of the most powerful, once upon a time, powerful 4 words in the English language. Once upon a time, I'm sitting up, I'm paying attention, I'm leaning in. So hint that there is a story coming. Yes.
Once upon a time,
Yes.
what fear do you think people react to the best and you get the most success? Because obviously there's lots of fears in business. What fear do you feel is the best approach?
Yeah. So I'm going to answer that question by saying that's not the question. The question is, what fear are my prospects feeling and concerned with the most? And that will differ. So you'll see these lists about here are the most common emotions and here are the blah, blah, blah. And so right to those, like, no, discover what is the conversation that your prospects are having in their heads. And it's discoverable. It's discoverable. I didn't, if I had 15 more minutes, I'd talk about this thing that we talk, our 3-pillar story power. So, 3-pillar story discovery approach. So in many cases, you have a sense of it, just pull from your head what you believe are the fears and frustrations and pains. And then on the other side, envision the aspiration, the dreams, the hopes that your clients have. But you also can get at 2nd pillar from their own mouths. What are they telling you? What have they said? What are your clients talking to you about? When they send you a thank you note, what's the emotion that they expressed? Oh, I'm so relieved I no longer have to deal with the big box office stores. They're so obnoxious and they never have anything in stock. And then they horrible customer service. And, they make me feel like I'm nobody. You make me feel, people are saying these things to you, Mark. And so draw from thank you notes, from testimonials, from conversations that you're having with prospects and clients. That's the 2nd pillar. And then the 3rd pillar, what are the conversations that people are having outside of your own solar system, outside of your own client and customer base, but that are relevant to the market? So you could go and read reviews of Office Depot and Office Max, and what are people complaining about? When people are angry or frustrated with those stores, what are they complaining about? Inflexible return policies or who knows what. But go out into online communities, online reviews outside of your own solar system. And a lot of times you'll discover things even more powerful than what you're getting directly from your own clients' mouths. 3 pillars. What you think you know about your clients, that's a glass half full. Good place to start, horrible place to end. What your clients and prospects are saying to you, and being deliberate and habitual about gathering, sorting, sifting, and distilling those things. And 3rd, what's the market talking about outside of your own solar system? That's the story discovery process that we teach and we really dig into with our clients. Yes.
Yeah, to illustrate your point, Dom, I've been working for several years trying to get my confidence training into the school systems.
Yeah.
And I've been approaching it from the standpoint of what confidence will do. Okay. But recently I've gotten the closest I've ever been to actually getting to work with the kids. And it was because a teacher told me that their biggest challenge was conflict resolution.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't deal with conflict resolution. I deal with conflict prevention. Now I have a new story to tell, a new way to frame my confidence training in a way that's relevant to what they're dealing with on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And that discovery process is an iterative process. I haven't found a way to really shortcut it, but
yeah, and I'm glad you called it a discovery process, because most people, if they bother to do what marketers often call prospect personas, I'm building a website, we'll do a prospect persona activity. They get in a room with a whiteboard, maybe a marketing consultant, maybe not. They sit around, they write stuff about their ideal prospect on the board, and the event is over. And all they've done is pulled from their head what they think. All they've done is treated it as a single event. They put their website up, they begin to write content, and they're done. Enormous mistake. It's a process. It's ongoing. Noticing what's going on with your prospects and your market is an ongoing process that involves habits, involves noticing, involves listening and paying attention. Forget about what you think you need to tell your audience and pay attention to what your audience is feeling. And you will begin to gather the building blocks that you need to assemble content with greater ease. And it's going to be the kind of content that everybody obviously knows is better than 99% of the garbage that's now being churned out by lazy human content creators and really smart machines. By the way, in 2 months, the AI engine, ChatGPT, that I used to do this is coming out with version 4. Look out. Yeah, if you want to go to Google ChatGPT, go play with it. It's a rabbit hole. You'll spend hours. It's amazing, and it can write with humor. And over time, you're going to be able to train AI to write in your voice. But here's the thing about training AI to write in your voice. You can't train a robot to write in your voice until you discover how to write in your voice. And most people aren't writing with voice and with character and with story power. Most people are doing the same old boring blah, blah, blah lecture. So again, self-serving for me who teaches you how to do this, but it's honest. Now is the time more than ever if you want to stand out and be the one people notice and have your content be the content that people pay attention to. I know we've gone over, but it seemed like we were kind of on a roll there. So other questions, or should we respect the clock? Thank you all very much.